Hi guys, welcome back. Today we are going to learn how to multiply and divide by powers of 10. We've got 3 success criteria, and the first one is to multiply and divide by tens, hundreds and thousands. Answer these questions below and see if you notice anything. When you're ready for the answers, press play. So here are your answers. 7 times 10 is 70. 3 times 100 is 300. 9 times 1000 is 9000. And 4 times 10,000 is 40,000. So do you notice anything? Was there a quicker way to answer them than doing a long multiplication method? Here are some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers. Here are some division questions. So again, answer the questions below and see if you notice anything. Pause the video, and when you're ready to see what you should have done, press play. Here are your answers. So 20 divided by 10 is 2. 500 divided by 100 is 5. 8,000 divided by 1,000 is 8. And 30,000 divided by 10,000 is 3. So did you notice anything about your answers, and was there a quicker way to answer them? Here are some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers, so you can mark those. So when we want to do 1.5 times by 10, we've got 1 unit and 5 tenths. So because we're timesing by a 10, which has 1 0, everything moves 1 space forwards. So the 1 and the 5 both move 1 space forwards. So the answer is 15. If we're timesing by 1,000, 1,000 has 3 zeros. So we're going to move everything 3 spaces forward. So each digit moves 3 spaces forwards. And any gaps, we can see we've got a gap in the units, so we fill that with a 0. So our answer is 340. Here are some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers. So there's your green answers. There's your amber answers. There's your red answers. And there's your purple answers. When we divide by 10, everything still moves 1 place, but this time everything moves 1 place backwards. So we've got 1.27, we're dividing by 10, so everything moves 1 space, this is one space back. So every digit moves one space back. So our answer is 0.127. So the rules. If we times by 10, 100 or 1000, this makes the number bigger. If we divide by 10, 100 or 1000, this makes the number smaller. Here are some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers. So there's your green answers. There's your amber answers. There's your red answers. And there's your purple answers. And now we've completed success criteria 1. So now we're going to move on to number 2, and this is to multiply and divide numbers written in power notation. So powers of 10 are powers or indices are smaller numbers that indicate how many times you use the number in a multiplication. So for instance, if we're timesing by 10 to the power of 3, that means we're timesing by 10 3 times, which is the same as timesing by 1000, because it has 3 zeros. When the power is negative, it means we're dividing by the power of 10. So if we times by 10 to the minus 3, that means we're dividing by 10 3 times, which is the same as dividing by 1000, because that has 3 zeros. So what does times 10 to the power of 3 mean? Well, it means we're timesing by 1000, because the power is 3, so we need to times by a number that has 3 zeros. If we're timesing by 10 to the power of minus 4, because it's a minus power, that means we're dividing, and we're dividing by 10,000, because that has 4 zeros. Here are some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers, so you can mark those. If we want to do 1.7 times by 10 to the 3, that means we're timesing 1.7 by 1000, which would give us the answer 1700. If we want to do 35 times 10 to the minus 4, that means we're dividing 35 by 10,000, which would be 0.0035. Here are some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers. So there's your green answers. There's your amber answers. And there's your red answers. And now we've completed success criteria 2. So now we're going to move on to number 3, and this is to use index laws. So answer the questions below and see if you notice anything. Pause the video, and when you're ready to see what you should have done, press play. So here are your answers. So what do we notice? Well, 100,000 is 10 to the power of 5. 1 million is 10 to the power of 6. 100 is 10 to the power of 2. And 10 is 10 to the power of 1. So when we've multiplied, what we can actually do is add the indices. And when we've divided, we can subtract the indices. So when we multiply, we can add the powers, and when we divide, we subtract the powers. So here, we want to do 6 times 10 to the 4 times 10 to the 5, which becomes 6 times 10 to the power of 9, because we can add the 4 and the 5 together. Here we want to do 24 times 10 to the power of 2 divided by 8 times 10 to the power of 7. So we can divide 24 and 8, and we can divide 10 to the power of 2 and 10 to the power of 7. Now 24 divided by 8 is 3, and 10 to the power of 2 divided by 10 to the power of 7 is 10 to the power of minus 5. Remember, we subtract the indices when we divide. So 2 take away 7 is minus 5. Here are some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers. So there's your green answers. There's your amber answers. There's your red answers. And there are your purple answers. And now we've completed success criteria 3. So now that we've completed the last objective, it's time to end the video. Hope you enjoyed it and hope you found it useful. Make sure to like and subscribe, and be sure to check out the other videos on the rest of the channel. I'll see you next time. See ya.